While some may have dismissed VR gaming as just a fad that will pass away with time, the platform is actually growing at a rapid pace. Sony's upcoming PSVR 2 will bring new experiences to fans, and we can't wait to see the likes of Horizon Call of the Mountain in action. But it's equally important to look back at the history of VR and see which games are the absolute cream of the crop when it comes to quality. On that note, we present 15 of the best VR games of all time. HalfLife Alex. HalfLife Alex was a dream come true for legions of fans, but when Valve announced that it was a VR-only game, there was an element of skepticism associated with anticipation. But when HalfLife Alex was finally released, fans elated with joy and all those skepticisms washed away. In so many ways, HalfLife Alex is the perfect example of how to craft a AAA game for the VR platform. Thanks to potent combination of meaningful story and well-designed gameplay ideas that leverage the capabilities of the platform to the fullest. Superhot VR. Superhot VR is a game with a simple premise: time only moves when you move. And that simple premise is brought to life beautifully with slick action sequences as you slice through bullets, throw objects, or pick up an enemy's gun and shoot him with it, all within a matter of seconds. It's incredibly stylish and supremely fun, and while the graphics might be minimalistic, they actually help in making the game's action more readable. Beat Saber. Much like Superhot, Beat Saber is a pretty simple game, but it does what it does flawlessly. The majority of your time playing Beat Saber is spent slicing through blocks with your lightsaber as they swarm towards you in sync with the background rhythm. Beat Saber is incredibly addictive thanks to a well-designed gameplay loop that will keep you coming back for more and more. Tetris Effect Connected. There are hundreds of flavors of Tetris available on the market today, but Tetris Effect Connected stands out from the rest of the pack thanks to its incredibly stylized visuals and beautiful stage backgrounds that just draw you into the action. And what better way to experience all that than in VR, which is precisely why Tetris Effect Connected has found its place on this list. I Expect You to Die 2. I Expect You to Die 2 expands upon the original in so many ways, and everything from the story and the writing and the levels have seen substantial changes. In a good way, of course. Players will be carrying out espionage operations in new locations as they learn more about the many tools in this trade, and solve puzzles to reach their objectives. No Man's Sky VR. No Man's Sky might have started out on the wrong foot, but with meaty content updates following its launch, the game has completely changed itself into a grand adventure across the galaxy. Playing through it in VR might not be the most intuitive thing at first, but when you weigh the benefits of being able to explore these randomly generated planets up close against the frustrations that come with it, No Man's Sky VR becomes a pretty enticing option after all. Resident Evil 7. Capcom delivered an excellent survival horror experience in the form of Resident Evil 7, and the journey through the Baker Mansion is filled with all kinds of jump scares and set pieces. Resident Evil 7 VR immerses you deeper into the experience, which makes the scares and the atmosphere feel so much more unsettling than usual, which is why you should definitely try it out if you have the chance. AstRobot Rescue Mission. AstRobot Rescue Mission is all about our robotic protagonist, Captain Astro, rising to the occasion and rescuing the many crewmates that are scattered across different levels. It's a game that relies on its charming visuals and lovable animations to draw you in, and the ability to see these fantastical worlds in complete detail, thanks to VR compatibility, which makes it so much better. And of course, there's also the ingenious use of DualShock 4's capabilities, which elevates the playing experience to a higher plane. Blastin. Resolution Games' Blastin is one of the few VR games that forces you to move in order to win, so chances are that you will also have a pretty decent workout while you play the game. It's a tactical shooter where you must make the most of your guns, shields, and wits to outsmart your opponent as you battle them in cyberpunk-inspired arenas. Content updates have added new arenas and cosmetic options to the experience, which is sure to keep you coming back time and time again. Res Infinite. Res Infinite feels like a psychedelic experience through a collapsing cyberspace, thanks to its constantly shifting colors and techno soundtrack. You will be blasting through enemies in style as you partake in adrenaline-pumping bullet hell battles. It's a sublime experience that rarely misses a beat, which makes it one of the best games on the platform. Wipeout Omega Collection. Wipeout is one of the best anti-gravity racers of recent memory, and Wipeout Omega Collection packages Wipeout HD and Wipeout 2048 in one place. And of course, the ability to experience all that speed in VR makes it all so much better, which by extension makes Wipeout Omega Collection the quintessential way to play the series. Thumper. Developer Drool's Thumper uses its brutal gameplay mechanics surrounding its blisteringly fast-paced races and psychedelic tracks to instill a sense of dread within the player, all while some appropriate noise rock tunes play in the background. You get to feel every bump and every obstacle in close proximity thanks to VR, and Thumper is a game that's best experienced in that way. Robo Recall. Robo Recall puts you in the shoes of an agent who is tasked with killing robots who have gone rogue and threaten a city, and suffice to say, it's just as fun as the premise makes it out to be. Robo Recall plays beautifully in its first-person perspective, and neat blemishes to the gameplay like brutal finishers separate it from the rest of the pack. Arizona Sunshine. Vertigo Games' Arizona Sunshine sees you and your friends trying your best to survive in the midst of a zombie apocalypse. The combat is brutal and realistic, and the graphics are also pretty impressive. And of course, playing through a game with your friends makes it all so much better. So don't be surprised if you find yourself coming back to this one time and time again. Blood and Truth. Much like HalfLife Alex that we discussed earlier, Blood and Truth has all of the qualities of a AAA game with the added benefit of being available in VR. It's an action thriller that presses its best foot on the pedal from its starting moments, and then never really lets off until the end. The visuals are spectacular, and it's a worthy sequel to The London Heist, which is saying something about the quality of the game. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.